All right, we're on lesson, oh, I forgot to change it. That's supposed to be 4.3, not 3.3. There's your first mistake already. So we're on lesson 4.3. We are taking what we did in the last lesson with solving inequalities, and now we're learning that new, real, crazy skill. It's kind of like right here. So when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you got to flip the inequality sign the other direction. And if you don't do it, you are wrong. Here's our first example. We have x over 5 is less than or equal to negative 3. Remember, just like with equations, we draw the line down, but instead of at the equal sign, it's at the inequality sign. Find your variable, it's x. Remember, that means divide, and you cancel divide with multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by a positive 5. Since we're multiplying by a positive, we do not flip the sign. That cancels out. We get x is less than or equal to negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And then when you graph it, you don't have to put all the numbers on. Just start with your negative 15. And I didn't give you enough space, so I'm just making it up. So we got negative 15, negative 14, and then negative 16 is over here. So we have less than or equal to, that means there's a closed circle because it has the line underneath it, and x is not being eaten. So the negative 15 is bigger, so the x is smaller. That means your arrow is going to go to the left. Now, next example, I look at this one and I can see, well, it's kind of backwards because the p is on the other side, but I still draw my line at the inequality sign. For negative 3 is greater than negative 2/3 p. And then I look at it, and remember, don't be tempted to think that's a negative, so you add. When it's stuck right up against the variable, that means multiply. So you cancel it with dividing. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 2/3. Now, when you divide by negative, that's when you got to flip the inequality sign the other direction. We don't care about this number being negative. It's the number that's stuck to the variable. When the number stuck to the variable is negative, we flip it. And on this side, they cancel out. We'll get p. And on this side, we'll do negative 3 divided by negative 2/3. I don't have my calculator open, so I'm just going to do it regular. So negative 3 divided by negative 2/3. Remember, put a 1 under that whole number. Copy, change, flip it. Negative 3 over 1 multiply by 3 over negative 2, and we get 9/2, which is the same thing as 4 1/2. So we get that p is greater than 4 1/2. So when we graph it, we just need the 4, we need the 5, 4 1/2 is in the middle, an open circle, and p is bigger, so p is going to go to the left.
Okay, hi. Oh my gosh, it's Ms. Deno, and it has been a good 10 plus years since I've done math, so bear with me. But Ms. Kuklo has been teaching you this, and I kind of watched her. So this is the way I understand it. You're going to make a line straight down from the inequality. It looks kind of like hers. Okay, and then because this negative 6 next to that x, that means multiplication. So it's like there's a little dot there. Oh my gosh, I totally dotted out the 6. Sorry about that. So what we're going to do, you're going to divide by 6, negative 6, my bad, by negative 6 on both sides, okay? Negative 6. Oh my gosh, this is just hideous. I'm better at language arts. So that then leaves us with x is, what is this? Less than, because that looks like a sideways L. That's the way I always looked at it. A negative 3, right? Because 6 times 3 is 18, but don't forget that negative. Okay, so now we have to put it on the number line. And oh, I'm going to guess it's something like this. We got a 0 here, right? Because you got to start somewhere. And then you got negative 1 and negative 2 and a negative 3. And yeah, it's something like that, right? Does that look okay?
Okay, so here's our last example, but there's one thing that we need to fix on Miss Deno's. She didn't put the open circle. So there's an open circle there at that 3, but she is right. It will go to the left because x is smaller. Now we're looking at last example, and then you're going to do 1 and 2 on your own and check with the Edpuzzle video. So I have negative 15 is less than 2.5q. I draw my line down at the inequality symbol. I look for my variable, which is right there, and that means 2.5 times Q. So we're going to divide by 2.5. So I divide both sides by 2.5. Now I'm dividing by a positive. We don't care that the negative is on the 15. It's what we're dividing by. What's by the coefficient that matters. So since 2.5 is positive, I keep my inequality sign the same. I do not flip it. I bring down my Q, and then I do negative 15 divided by 2.5, which is negative 6. And I come down here and I'm going to put in my negative 6. I'm just going to put negative 5 over here. Next time I will hopefully have better number lines. On your mastery check, there's better number lines, don't worry. So negative 6, and that's going to be an open circle because there's no line under it, and Q is being eaten. Q is bigger, so it's going to go to the left. And I just noticed, this is not on purpose, but I noticed that these both go to the right, or these both go to the right. I'm sorry, I should have said right there. I don't know my right and left anymore because I'm always backwards. So these both go to the right, these both go to the left. That is not on purpose. It's not always like that. That was just a weird coincidence. Okay, so try number 1 and number 2 and check it with your Edpuzzle video.